Hi, I'm Rebecca Gibbons. I'm a caregiver. My mother is deceased now, but she died with schizophrenia and she was a survivor of domestic violence. I have a lived experience. I had a psychotic pregnancy, and now I'm a therapist trying to help others navigate life with mental health. I was born in Havana, Cuba, and I lived a life of persecution, fear, not knowing where our next meal was going to come from. Just not sure what the next day was going to bring when I went to school, or just if my family was going to be arrested because we were Christians. Um, that was my life in Cuba for the 8 years that I lived there. Just the anxiety and the trauma of, will they snatch my mom or my sibling or even me because I believed in God. My mom's mom died when she was 2, so she was raised by her father and she lived a life of abuse. And it wasn't until she came to America that she was diagnosed with schizophrenia, along with being a survivor of domestic violence and coming to a foreign country. So I lived a life of just being raised by someone who was sick, who was absent at awards day or at my softball games or when I won the spelling bee. Who often spent time sleeping and couldn't provide for a job. So we survived on Section 8 and food stamps and Medicaid. She didn't know English, so often I found myself to be her interpreter and to help her navigate, even attend doctor's appointments. And I was the one who received the cancer diagnosis and helped her navigate through that. So I was a caregiver even before I could write. I was her caregiver. When I first came from Cuba and we were received at Key West, there was a long table with all kinds of foods, and there was a little soda can of Coca-Cola that went shh. And when I would hear that sound, I knew that I was free. But that was also when I met social workers who were helping people get acclimated and acculturated to the United States. So between seeing social workers come to our rescue and seeing my mom, a foreigner who did not know the language or the culture, come across some of these things, I decided that I wanted to first be an interpreter, and I became a certified interpreter. And then later in life, when I took sociology classes and psychology classes, I really knew that this is what I wanted to be, that I wanted to help people navigate processes. Whatever it was, the process that we're going through life, I knew that I wanted to be there and walk with them and help them, give them tools like social workers gave us to navigate life in the United States. So I became a social worker first, and I did social work for about 20 years. And then I transitioned into becoming a therapist in the last 7 years. I love my profession because I get to identify. I don't get to judge. I can relate to a lot of the things that many of my clients are often experiencing, and so I get to be a partner with them. A partner that I didn't have. I didn't have good therapists growing up. I don't think we knew about it, right? In my community, the Latino community, we don't go to therapists. It's taboo. There's a stigma. So to be able to be a bilingual licensed therapist for a community that often finds this to be taboo, and to identify with them and say, no estás loco, you're not crazy. This is an experience, and we have interventions, whatever the intervention may be for you, that will help you live resiliency. It gives me great joy to be able to do that. In the community that I live, I found NAMI, and it's a wonderful organization. Number one, I gotta say, NAMI is free people. A lot of people don't realize that there's not an access to service or a barrier with NAMI because the services are free. They're in your town, they're in your area. You can look them up nationally and you can find them. To me, I identify it as like AA. Everybody knows AA, that you could just look on Google or something and find it. That's how NAMI is. You can find a group in your area at a time, whether it be at a church, wherever it is, and they're there for you. And the amount of services that they offer are amazing. So NAMI has helped me to find resources, especially because I work with a population that's uninsured or underinsured. And so NAMI is a good partner for me to find resources for the families that I work with. It makes me feel good that I have a place to refer people. Often in our field, we're always talking about where are the resources at? So to have NAMI right in my backyard, I have people that I can actually connect to them, not just call this number and somebody will get back to you. It's a hand-to-hand soft touch. I have this referral. Can you tell me about this program? Is it going to be in Spanish? What's available? So to be able to do that with NAMI, it makes me feel that I'm actually helping my clients. I had referred someone to NAMI who is Latina. Her English is broken. And she told me about the experience that her entire family had with NAMI. That means her husband, her 2 little boys, and her teen daughter, who happened to be dealing with suicidal ideations. She said that NAMI took the entire family under their wings, and if it wasn't for several of the services that were offered to them, her family would not be in a place of stability today. So that's someone who homed in to the services that NAMI has. It didn't matter if her language was different. She had access, and she had someone who spoke to her and walked with her in her language, and she was able to service her entire family. That's what NAMI does for people.